Introducing the newest fusion of the Dragon Ball family, Miss Kefla! The episode opens up with Broly, aka Berserker Kale, and it actually doesn't last very long because Kale is capable of controlling the mode soon after having a heart-to-heart with Caulifla. You know, talking about like teamwork and sisterhood and all that good stuff. I found it very, very cool how like when she's powering up, Goku actually he drops a couple of hits to destroy some of the rocks, some of the rubble. I thought that was very nice because how often do you have characters in these shows worried about these humongous chunks of rubble coming their way? It was a very nice touch. Very, very small scene, but I like that. And in the beginning, the girls kind of end up doing the same thing that they were doing by the end of the last episode. It's like double teaming Goku, I hit, you hit, I distract him, you come in and catch him off guard, that sort of thing. They depend a lot on moving around and just catching Goku off guard. And I think at one point Goku just kind of catches on. It's like, okay, well, if you're doing this, I'm gonna have to mess up the visibility a little bit for you. So he uses Solar Flare. Shout out to Tenshin Han. And that's another thing that I really appreciated about this episode is just how versatile Goku was. Like at one point he's just shooting lasers at them with his fingertip. Kind of makes it seem like he's using the spirit gun. And then in another scene, Kale is choking him and she's trying to push him out of the platform and he uses his feet to create an energy blast and he just ends up pushing Kale back that way. So again, a lot of versatility in regards to his attacking style in this episode. We get introduced to this character called Cato Pezla, who is like this policeman. We've seen him before. He has like different suits and stuff. He talks to Frieza a little bit. Frieza is in this episode, surprisingly enough. That's another thing I appreciated from this episode. If you compare this one to the previous one was just like, the female Saiyans and Goku and nobody else. Again, it just felt like a very private training session. Now in this episode, we get to see other people, taking care of business, doing other things, fighting other characters, and then Frieza's there, and he actually just kind of like the fight came to him because he was just standing around. And then it's like, oh, Goku, what are you doing here? Well, since you brought the female Saiyans, I might as well. And Goku's like, no. Frieza actually has two very good quotes in this episode. The first one is, okay, fine. If you really want to, go ahead. Saiyans crushing each other is what I live for. That's a perfect show for me. And then the second quote that I like was when Cato Pezla just tries to impress him. He's like, yeah, I'm just going to ignore that. And that statement actually summarizes my feelings perfectly about Cato Pezla as well. I just feel like I should just ignore him. And hopefully he gets eliminated soon enough because he just seems like he was just there to sort of make up time and just be a gag character. Although in the preview we do see, if you pause, if you watch the preview slowly, you see that he sneaks up on 18 and then 17 comes in with a punch to the abdomen. Then Goku goes Super Saiyan God, and I have to admit it's a little bit weird that he goes Super Saiyan God instead of going Super Saiyan 3 because in the previous episode he was kind of setting it up so that he could go Super Saiyan 3 once he gathered enough stamina to sustain the mode. But it's Super Saiyan God. And then after he goes Super Saiyan God, you can definitely tell by the animation and the choreography that he just stops caring about Caulifla in that moment in time. Like Caulifla literally becomes an afterthought to Goku after he goes Super Saiyan God. The only person that he takes seriously after he transforms is Kale. Caulifla's just there kind of like in the background trying to land a hit and stuff. And then he lands a hit on her and she's like, oh, my stomach. Oh, I can't believe it. Oh, that hurt. She just gets completely overwhelmed. Kale is a little bit better at holding her own against Super Saiyan God Goku, but Caulifla is just like no match at this point. Then Goku sends out a double energy blast, one against Kale, the other one against Caulifla. And Caulifla at first, she thought she was being smart. She's like, I'll just dodge it. I'll just try and avoid it. But then Goku turns that blast into like a guided missile. So he's like guiding it with his hands, just kind of like, no, follow her, keep following her, and it doesn't explode until it actually makes contact with Caulifla, and that pretty much does her in. The moment Goku begins to get a little bit serious, Caulifla starts huffing and puffing. We need a fuse, Kale. We need a fuse. I kind of wish they would have given more time to just Kale versus Goku, like them, solo, because it just seemed like it happened because Caulifla just couldn't keep up with the other two. So it's kind of like, yeah, just use the earrings because otherwise I'm going to be done. Now I will give Caulifla credit for being able to read Goku's instant transmission at one point in the episode. Goku uses instant transmission to teleport to a different spot to confuse the girls, and Caulifla knows exactly where he'll be, and she sends a blast over at him. Turns out Champa gave them the Potara as a last resort. And I'm actually getting a little bit concerned in terms of the power increment and what that power increment actually means, because according to Vados, it's not just the sum of the parts. It's not just Kale Kale's power plus Khalifa's power. See, according to the dialogue, it's Khalifa's power plus Kale's power, and then some, and then you multiply that by 10, or whatever tens of times actually means. I don't know what this means, Vados. Tens of times. Is that 20? Is that 30? I mean, it seems like the fusion is super fast. Like, she was able to speed blitz Goku. And even from a power standpoint, like, she was literally able to send Super Saiyan God Goku flying with just one punch. And it seems like she's just barely warming up, sort of getting used to this new body. Now, in the next episode preview, there is a line from Goku stating that he's gonna have to use Kaioken against Kefla. So that means that he's gonna use Super Saiyan Blue plus Kaioken. And then the title of the episode is Super Saiyan Blue Defeated. Are you saying that at this point in time, like, Kefla is capable of overpowering Super Saiyan Blue plus Kaioken times whatever times Goku needs to use it? It's crazy. Like, even Vegeta gets distracted, like, once he senses that the fusion has taken place, to the point where, you know, kind of leaves himself open and Toppo lands a hit on him. And by the way, I really hope that we get at least half of an episode, if not an entire episode, dedicated to Vegeta versus Toppo. But anyway, yeah, like, it's like these girls are not a joke. It's pretty serious. And I guess another thing that I have to ask you guys is, do you think that this kind of sends, like, the wrong message, where it's like, well, if you're a female Super Saiyan, if you're a female Saiyan, you know, the story kind of like has set it up where in which you don't really have to train that much. And I'm only bringing this up because that was one of the main criticisms that I saw floating around soon after the hype died down, once the girls got introduced. Once the hype died down for the new characters, right, a lot of people started criticizing and saying, well, these girls, they get this tingly feeling and they get a new power increase, and now it's like they reintroduced the Potara earrings and now they're even more powerful, to the point where they can even compete with Super Saiyan Blue plus Kaioken. Now, I will say, though, that from a design standpoint, visually, the new form, the new fusion of Kefla looks really cool. I really like her clothes. It just kind of makes it seem like she just got out of yoga class. Personally, however, I'm still hoping that once the girls are done using the Potara earrings, they'll eventually pass them down to Goku and Vegeta so that we can have the return of Vegito and we can have a Vegito Ultra Instinct fight against Jiren. I don't know why, but I kind of get the feeling that Kale will be sticking around a lot longer than Khalifa will. So if Khalifa gets disqualified, they can't do the fusion anymore, it's just going to be Kale flying solo. And Vegeta has already stated that if he wins, he will ask for Universe 6 to be brought back into existence. So it could be something like, you know, if you give us the earrings, we can help you out here. Then again, it could also happen that both girls get eliminated at the same time, because if Khalifa gets eliminated first, I can definitely foresee Kale losing her will and her motivation to fight and stay in the tournament. Unless, of course, she's convinced to do otherwise by the people in the stands, telling her and motivating her to stay in and do her best for the sake of the survival of Universe 6. Also, quick shout out to whoever drew Krillin in this instance, because he looks badass, and I don't recall, you know, thinking that Krillin looked badass pretty much since Super started. So yeah, it's just nice art. Judging from the preview, in next week's episode, we'll also continue the 2-on-2 fight of Piccolo and Gohan versus the two Universe 6 Namekians, so that should be fun. Overall, I thought this episode was pretty interesting, and I somehow suspect that it'll be the source of a lot of discussion and debate concerning the power of Kefla. If you notice, one of the quotes that gets repeated throughout the episode is that Khalifa and Kale together, right, are like the most powerful force in the universe. And at first, when they said that, I was like, come on, no. But then after they fused to Kefla, and especially considering what Goku says in this moment, look at what Goku says, all right? He can't sense a limit to Kefla's energy. Does that mean that Kefla is limitless, just like Goku is? Actually, no, let me rephrase that, because Goku, like, he breaks his limits each time. The limits are there, but he breaks them each time. But according to this quote, if we are to believe, like, verbatim what Goku says, Kefla has no limits. And that's what I was saying, right? It's like, in the beginning, they're talking about how, like, you know, together, Kale and Khalifa, they're super powerful. Like, you know, the strongest in the universe. And I'm like, nah, I don't think so. But then you look at this quote, and you look at the ending of the episode, and you're like, well, is she? Is Kefla really that powerful? It just raises a lot of very interesting questions. Like, for example, if they indeed are limitless, how come Jiren didn't, like, wake up from his meditation session and be like, oh crap, like, I need to, you know, I was wrong. I told Toppo he could take care of the rest, you know, but I was wrong. There's somebody here that I, it requires my presence, my intervention. I mean, because even Vegeta felt it. Then again, at one point, Jiren's hands do twitch a little bit, but I believe they kind of twitch before the fusion takes place. I may be wrong though. Oh, and last, before I forget, there was this one very brief moment where Dispo specifically said, I cannot take on Frieza. And he just dips. He just leaves. So he's like, yeah, I'm just not even going to try at this point. That's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please like the review if you appreciate it. I appreciate those thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because I do Dragon Ball Super reviews every Saturday night. Let me know your thoughts about Miss Kefla down in the comments section. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.